How's it going, everyone? Hope you had a good weekend. Welcome to week 2 of our statics course. I wanted to start off by just giving you a view of what's going on when I try to click on the Alamo Books Plus material, because I know I wanted to maybe give you a little bit of a resource this week in advance of them actually updating our ISBN and taking us to the 15th edition. So if you click on left click on Alamo Books Plus within the navigation for our course, and you click on the Read Now tab, I was able to actually see the textbook this weekend when I tried this. The problem is, and Read Now will eventually go, hopefully. Now, I'm not too sure that you all will be able to see this because, as I understand it, I have to basically set up the course in order for you to be able to see this textbook. But hopefully you're able to, and you can review chapter 1, which is what I based the lecture on that I posted last Thursday. I think we're posting on Tuesdays and Thursdays for this class. So this week we're actually going to cover all of the material for chapter 2, and I would like to actually put some homework problems up for chapter 2 as well. Like I mentioned when I had the introductory video last week, I'll always try to make the homework problems due a week after we go over the material, just in case any of you are working asynchronously and are only able to look at our content on Monday through Wednesday or something. You would have the chance in a whole nother week to get the assignments done. So we're not in the worst shape in the world that we don't have the My Mastering Engineering MyLab set up. What basically happens is, I don't know if you saw when I was on this previous page, there was a button for me to build the course. And when I do that, this is what it tells me, that the course materials are retired and no longer available. Go back to find other materials that fit your curriculum. I would love that. I know exactly what they are. They're the 15th edition. I have the ISBN. This is what I've sent to the bookstore, and this is what they need to update for us. That way we can actually build our MyLab product. Because if you notice, it looks like they kind of fool you. Oh, you're going to be able to click select. Just kidding. And it's a real shame because, as I mentioned, they have not changed this book in years. This is a book that I use and everyone uses basically at all ABET accredited institutions around the country. When I took statics and dynamics in 2000 and, oh, I sound old too. But when you actually, I remember actually reading parts of this text and they just stick in my mind. They were the same thing as they were back then. So long story short, hopefully you're able to actually access the book. However, you won't be able to submit homework in My Engineering or MyLab yet. If for whatever reason, if we get to midweek and I still haven't heard anything from the bookstore, my plan is going to be to basically scan some problems from the actual book and put them up and just tell you, hey, start working these by hand now. And if we get access to MyLab soon, we'll have you upload them into MyLab. That way you get the grades instantaneously. However, worst case, I'll just grade them. That's totally okay. So in terms of what we're doing this week, you're watching the week 2 intro video. I will fix that typo here in a minute. The 2 lectures this week are going to cover all of chapter 2. Part 1 and 2. This is going to be a lot of review. If you're strong on your basic mechanics from physics and you're comfortable dealing with vectors and right triangle trigonometry, this will be pretty trivial for you. The only graded discussion board that we have this week, as I mentioned, we will get homework problems up that we can start working on them, but they're not due this week. The only thing that will be graded is a discussion board, which is going to ask you to go back to the week 1 discussion boards, look at people that maybe have similar interests and available to you, and try to come up with a little bit of a study group. I know a lot of times now there's probably a group me out for this course already, and that's totally cool. To be frank with you, often I have no problem being added to that group me because I can try to provide you with resources there if you think it's easier. I also don't care if you keep me out. That way you can talk about student stuff on that side. Either way works fine with me. But I do want to know that you have some sort of resource beyond me in this class, and we do have tutoring available as well. Hopefully we'll have details about that starting next week, and it can be accessed either in person or online. But I want you to have a resource, somebody that you can go to in the class to send an email to say, hey, I just don't get this problem. How'd you get started on this part? Can you send me a picture of your free body diagram? I want everyone to have the same experience that you would have if you were taking it in person, because when I think back about getting through my engineering classes, that's what made it, is going into a study lounge with a bunch of my fellow students and just working through some really tough problems. So hopefully you'll enjoy the lecture this week. Hopefully we'll have MyLab set up. That way we can start drilling some homework problems, and we'll get through chapter 2. And I will see you all, I guess the next time is on Tuesday when the first part of chapter 2 lecture posts. Have a good night.